Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. Black Monday is here. For me though, well, hello there.
Has become a member.
Thank you very much indeed. Many members have joined us over the night. For me, it's not Black Monday at all. In fact, it's Black 36 hours. I haven't slept. I've been up all night working on your behalf, on behalf of the Lucas Age, which is my priority always to deliver, provide the best live service possible, and I don't sleep until we have fixed this situation and all Lucas Age once again are making money. I've had an amazing night. Everything's been turned around. It's great. I'm wearing the red jacket because it's mega red today, but there's opportunity, lots of opportunity, and I'm about to hit another all-time high. 23 trades, 23 wins, never lost, never shorted, never done options, and this is still going to work out. It's quite a lot to unpack here and share with you. It takes a while. For those who just want to come in 2 minutes, this channel's not for you. If you want to be told what's going to make you rich in 2 minutes, this is not for you. However, if you've got patience and discipline and you refuse to lose, you only accept to win, and you'll do anything to win at any cost, this is the channel for you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to be honest. I'm not going to give you any rah-rah. I'm not going to apologize for that. All over the media this morning, everyone is saying stuff, nonsense, rubbish everywhere. People don't know what they're saying. They're making up stories, literally making up stories to benefit themselves. This is the only channel that's going to tell you exactly how it is. I can guarantee you that. So buckle up. I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give you the news, and we're going to go through all this live together. So please smash the like button if you like this content. We'd like to get up to 100 likes in the first 1 minute. That would be amazing. We got 232 people watching this morning. If everyone could tap the like button, that would be fantastic. If you could click subscribe, if you'd like to join our army or not, it's entirely up to you. But if you do click subscribe and ring the bell, you'll be notified of all the things that we do, and you won't miss anything. So that's entirely up to you. Okay, let me cover some of the things that we're going to cover today. I've got lots of news, lots of things to bring to you. My strategy, what I've been doing, how I've managed to massively improve my position and set and prime for an all-time high, which could come as early as today, which is the opposite that everyone's telling you today, that we're all going to go down. We probably are. We're probably going to go down another 10%. Still could reach an all-time high. I hear you say, how the hell is that possible? No one's doing that. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. So here's my strategy that I've been putting in place over the weekend. I haven't slept since Saturday. I've been up working. That's okay. I will sleep when all this is over and we're all making money. So these are some of the things I'm going to cover on today's show. Renegotiated my margin from 5.25 to 4%. Improve liquidity massively. We are beating the hedge funds, the professionals, those that we pay. I don't, you probably don't, but people pay money for someone to tell them how to invest. We're beating the hedge funds. They're getting margin called left, right, and center. There's a big story with Vietnam, and we're going to cover the earnings tonight. Nike earnings. It's the first one from Vietnam. It's a major story. We want to hear from Vietnam. We want to hear from Nike. We want to hear from apparel, shoes, apparel, T-shirts, all made in Vietnam. And we want to watch that. So we're going to cover that tonight after hours. India. Massive amounts of things happening in India today. I'll cover all of that. And the Trump deals, okay? People asking him to put on the brakes, delay all this stuff. He's got no interest. He's in fact out playing golf. But that reminds me of Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake, when the Spanish Armada approached Plymouth in England, in Devon, Sir Walter Raleigh ran up to him and said, "Sir Francis Drake, the Spanish are advancing from the northeast, southwest, from the southwest," and he said, "I'll finish my game of bowls before I take on the Spanish." And he did. And he won. Just a little bit of history there for you. Maybe Donald Trump thinks he's Sir Francis Drake and he's playing golf before he takes on the world. Hey, bit of British history there for you. Just thought I'd throw that in. I didn't read that on Google, by the way. I actually enacted that. I was actually in a musical called Drake at the Edinburgh Festival. So I know all about that. I played a role in Drake. Anyway, I digress. So what are we going to do? Well, as I said before, right at the top of this video, this takes some patience. So again, I'm going to give you an out now. If you haven't got the stomach for this, if you haven't got the patience for this, I would suggest you switch off, go and watch the Binky Bonk Show or CNBC or Bloomberg. That will stress you out and tell you a lot of nonsense just to keep you watching and keep you engaged and whatever they want to sell you. All right, so take some patience. Now, this is a strategy that we put together 14 months ago. I started investing 4 years ago, and I learned by making mistakes. I tried every single thing. I did every single thing, and I made every single mistake in the book. I lost $30,000, you all remember, with Virgin Galactic and Virgin Orbit. Then I realized what the show was. You have to know who you are. You have to know what you are and who you are. Mark Cuban, a billionaire, I played in his house, said to me, "Martyn, if you are the best of yourself, you'll always win. Don't try and be somebody else. Don't try and copy someone else. Be the best of you and you'll always win because you're the only one of you. Become your own brand. Work out what works for you and amplify it." So I decided to be a mainstream media channel, focus on providing the most honest channel in the world, and only invest in the S&P because it's the 500 best companies. And that way it can be demonstrated, not just say, but demonstrated that I'm doing the right thing. So I bought the S&P. I started by buying the S&P with all of my cash. I went all in. I went all in with such conviction that when I went all in, I was down 30 grand, and I could have done it at a much better time, but I decided the focus was getting on the right path as soon as possible because I was that sure in my conviction. So you need to know what your conviction is and go and get to it straight away. Don't look for a buying opportunity or the right time or the wrong time. The right time is now. As the Chinese would say, and I know I've toured all over China, the Chinese would say the best time to invest is now, if not 20 years ago. Forget the noise, forget the price action, forget the this and that and the other. Get involved, stay involved, and find a way to maintain and be always in. So I went all in on the S&P 500. As I started to earn my money, remember, that is key. None of this works if you do not have an engine. You cannot do any of this if you do not have an income. Too many people will use the stock market as a cash machine, and if they think it's the way for them to make money, when it is, but without you, it's nothing. Without your discipline, your mannerisms, your engine, your income, it's nothing. It's just no more than an out-of-date broken casino. And the only winner is the house. So I become the house. I own the S&P. I am the casino. I don't lose. You go, how can you not be losing? Everyone's losing today. Hedge fund managers are getting margin called. How can you not get margin called? Well, look, I'll show you the evidence here. Look, hedge fund managers are getting their biggest margin call since 2020. These are the professionals, right? Well, why are they getting margin call? Because they're under huge amounts of pressure to deliver more and more to their customers. They take bigger risks. However, if you are always winning 23 trades, 23 wins, 1% adds up. And no one can tell you it doesn't, because I bought my house with $1 tips when everybody else was sat on the beach. So trust me, no matter how much money or how little money you earn, doing it consistently over time wins. Warren Buffett is not the greatest trader in the world. He's just lived long enough. That's it. Simple. He makes loads of mistakes, but no one ever want to talk about them. And then they'll use his quotes out of context to say about buying Bitcoin. And he can't stand Bitcoin, but they will use it, phrases to back up buying Bitcoin just to encourage people. Even Donald Trump over the weekend put a Truth Social out with Warren Buffett in the video backing up his principles. And Berkshire Hathaway were very soon to report it was completely nonsense and they wouldn't support what he was doing at all. It wasn't Warren Buffett, it was Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, so you have to have your strategy, you have to know who you are, and you have to be in. Now, as I bought the S&P and I went all in. I didn't time the market. I'm aware of charts. I understand charts more than most people give me credit for. However, that's not what I'm focused on. All weekend, I have been on the phones. I'm talking to hedge fund managers. I'm talking to CEOs, and I'm finding out who's buying, what they're buying, and what people really think. You don't hear that on Bloomberg and CNBC. What they tell you on Bloomberg and CNBC is what they want the audience to hear. Not me directly with my friends. So I've been finding out what's been going on. I've been up all night. I haven't slept. It's a good job I got a red shirt because my eyes are pretty red. But that's okay. I'll sleep tomorrow. This is when you go to work, folks. Don't go to work tomorrow. You go to work today. So I found out exactly what's going on. So I just go back a moment. So once I bought the S&P, then I started to build my channel. Focus on me. Focus on whatever it is you do to earn money. Don't worry about your stocks. If they were good today, they're good tomorrow. A good idea then is a good idea now. Stay on the course. Don't ever sell. I've never sold. I only ever trade on my Roth IRA. 23 trades, 23 wins, right? Never lost any money. I've stayed in. I've kept going. Now then, as I was going, I was more and more confident with my belief, but most importantly, more and more confident in me. My understanding, my knowledge of how this is working, the relationships that I'm building, the family that I've built around me. I learn more from you than you learn from me. I can tell you that by all the millions of data of the polls that you've entered into, the comments. I understand what you're buying, what you're selling, how you're feeling. I've got a good weight of the retail investor. I'll come back to you on that.
Normal and Herbex donated £2 through a super chat.
Thank you.
Have you spoke to Mobix?
I will cover that in a moment. I will come back to any comments you put on the screen. I will come back to at the end of this. So I'm more and more confident. So then I started to use margin. Now, people worry about margin because they don't understand what it is. Margin is a powerful tool, but you have to understand how it works. I've made many videos on margin, and I've demonstrated margin calls live on the show, technical margin calls where I allowed myself to get into a margin call so you would see what happened. And I made videos on that. If you type in Martyn Lucas Investor, margin call, you will see all the examples of that and how it worked and all the rest of it. So go and I recommend you do that. But you have to be very, very disciplined with margin, understand what your income is. And as I've explained on the show, I know to the penny what I earn every single day, 6 months, a year from now. I write, everything goes in my EasyBooks app, and I'm always aware of any bill coming up in 6 months' time. I'm already planned out. Without a plan, without discipline and structure, you can't do that. You cannot do it. Never use margin for a single stock. Never use it on crypto, obviously. Only on the S&P because it's a solid investment and there's measured risk involved, and but most importantly because you know what you're bringing in and so on. So I started to use margin. Now all of a sudden then we got Donald Trump come into power, and I said right at the beginning in January, in fact when we got the announcement that he'd won, I said to you the markets are going to be volatile next year. You can all check my videos. I don't delete them. I don't edit them. I said we're going to have a very volatile year next year with Donald Trump, what he plans to do, and many of you sold out, many of you didn't, and whatever you did, most people say one thing and do another. I didn't sell a single share. Now, the reason why I didn't sell a single share was I told you it would go down. I told you this day would come, but I didn't sell a single share because I do not invest in the stock market. I do not invest in the S&P 500. I invest in myself, and myself is the most important thing. And I understand I'm investing in the 500 best companies in the world. Not America, not Trump, not a flag, not a government, businesses, real businesses, not stocks, not share prices, but businesses. So I know what I own. So I didn't sell a single share. Now, you may have said, if I'd sold at the top, I could have bought back this dip and ended up with a lot more shares than before. Would have been great, right? No. And you're all shouting at the screen going, well, that's ridiculous. Of course you'd have made more money if you'd sold at the top and you'd bought at the bottom. The bottom maybe was this morning. About 2:15 this morning, I bought another 12 shares of the S&P and massively increased my my liquidity. I'll come on to that in a minute. You'll be amazed by how much my liquidity has improved. You'll go, how the hell was that possible? Anyway, that comes up in a minute. So I didn't sell. And the reason why I didn't sell, and many people either did or didn't, whatever, was the point is we can look back now on hindsight and see it very differently. We'll look back and go, oh, in October, it was the high, in November. If you'd sold there and bought back now, that'd be great. But that's knowing where we are now. You didn't know where we were right now. Now, I said it would go down, but there's no way for me to know how low it's going to go. There's no way for me to know what's the bottom. It's impossible. People predict things. People will give you charts. That's great if you're a trader. I'm not a trader. I'm an investor. The show is called Martyn Lucas Investor. We have traders. We have our scalp trader, Ed Nevius, who's brilliant at it. Brilliant. He's a trader. We have Sensei, our crypto technician, chart technician. He's brilliant at it. These guys get it right more often than not, but they are traders, chart readers, so on. I am a long-term investor. I simply own businesses and accumulate stock and never sell. So I had no idea knowing what level it would reach. Impossible to know. Now, the fact of the matter is, if I had sold at the very, very top, which would be impossible, and then bought back this morning, if that was the bottom, which is impossible to know. The reality is I wouldn't have done that even if that would have been in my mind, because as it was falling down, I probably would have started buying a little bit and then it would have gone up a bit and I thought, okay, now I'll buy a bit more. Then it went down. I wouldn't know. And I would never do what we're now saying we could have predicted. It would be impossible. You'd have never done it. Retail investors, and I'm a retail investor just like everybody else, you don't buy on the way down and you buy on the way up and all the rest of it, and FOMO kicks in, and the more you start trading, the more fearful it gets, and your strategy, your plan starts going all over the place like a bloody snake. The straight path is broken. You've broken it. And not only that, I would have ended up then paying 20% tax. Now, you might say, that's not important. You've still made money. Who the hell cares? I care, because that's 20% of money that could still be in my stocks compounding, going back up again. But now it's all out because I sold it. Now I've got to pay a tax bill. What does a tax bill give me? Nothing. Just a bloody headache and a receipt from the IRS. Doesn't give me anything. It's dead money. Remember what I've always said, money has to work for you. It's not a thing to spend. It's a thing to use and multiply. Money must work for you. It's your soldiers. Until your money multiplies like a virus, more than you're spending, you don't spend. In other words, when I get to $1 million, which is the end of the decade, which is now accelerated by 1 year, I'll come on to that in a moment, I'll earn 100 grand a year for doing nothing. Nothing at all. And I can spend 100 grand a year then doing whatever I want. My money will remain the same. Okay, so I didn't sell anything because I couldn't predict the bottom. I've no idea. So what do? I'm massively in margin. It's going to keep going down, keep going down. He's going to get margin called. Well, you saw me get upset on Friday. I was in tears. I was upset in the morning, and then I came back in the afternoon, fight back. Or was it Saturday? I can't remember now. Anyway, trolls are coming out of the woodwork like the little slugs they are. Some people that you know brought out videos this morning, and I happen to know he's watching right now, laughing and chuckling, except he's completely looking foolish right now, because there are many people that made posts, comments, emails, messages, Reddit, YouTube channels saying Martyn's going to lose it all. He's crying. It's a big crybaby, drama queen, all of this stuff. Fantastic. They walk straight into it. What was I crying about? I was crying live on the show because I care about you. I care about the market. None of this was necessary. All of this was bad management. Yes, great to get the rates down. Yes, it's great to get the tariffs renegotiated, but this was way too aggressive. Too many people around the world have lost their jobs, lost their businesses, and will never recover. And I know that because I'm talking to people. So that's why I was upset. I've never given up, never lose. I never go away. I've been doing this for 40 years, entertaining like this since I was 16. I'm 56 now. Be 40 years in October. So I'm going nowhere. I never give up. I take the knocks and I lose, but I always come back. You never knock me down and I never go away. All right. It's not about how hard you can punch. It's about how many punches you can take. So all of that gave me extra strength. So over the weekend, I'm looking at this thinking, right, we're going to have Black Monday. We're going to have Black Monday on Monday, and things are going to get a lot worse during the night. So it's time to get busy. This is not a time to roll over. This is a time to get busy. So I got on the phones, talking to CEOs, talking to hedge fund managers. What's going on? What's the real story? Because you don't find it on YouTube, and you don't find it on CNBC, and you definitely don't find it on Bloomberg. Everyone's got an agenda, something to sell. Even my favorite, Tom Lee, always selling training programs, always selling his granny shots. There's always some ulterior motive. For me, it's not. I'm just live all day. You can watch for free. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You don't have to buy a t-shirt. You don't have to buy anything. It's free, right? If you want to, that's great. So I looked at what was going on. Now then, over the weekend, I've restructured my finances. Now, this is important, right? And need to understand this because right at the very beginning of this whole story, I told you cannot start investing until you've paid your mortgage off, paid your car loan off, and got yourself structured where you are disciplined. You've got an engine that makes money. I don't care if it's $1 or $1 million. It doesn't matter. The same percentages are the same. You can get yourself into a perfect situation on $1. It's not about money. It's about discipline. And I had the biggest disadvantage because I came to America just 8 years ago. All right. And it takes many, many years to get a perfect credit score because once you get so high, the rest of the score is done on time. And I only have 8 years of history. So I'm like an 8-year-old child living in America. All right. So I've got a disadvantage. But through my understanding of how it works, not being cleverer than anyone else, not for knowing anything else than anyone else, but just knowing how it works and having the discipline to see it through and sacrifice what's needed to be done to get the job done, I've got a perfect credit score in the United States and a perfect credit score in the United Kingdom. On two continents, I have a perfect score. Now, why is that important? Because you can't do what I'm about to say now without a perfect credit score. It's absolutely impossible. Let me read this.
Karen Justice donated $4.99 through a super chat. Good morning, Martyn. Could you explain an SQQQ,
I will. I believe you messaged me on somewhere, maybe it was YouTube or Discord, asking me that question, and I think I said, come into the live show and I'll do it for you. So yes, I will put that on the review list in a moment. I'll come back to all the super chats in a moment. So without steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and all the way through, you can't jump and skip to where we are today. You have to go on the path. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, it's a long video. It takes time. If this is not for you, go and watch the Binky Bonk show, and they'll tell you how to get rich in 5 minutes. All right. So this is not for you. Obviously, everyone stayed with me. We got 522. All the Lucasades are here. Everybody goes, yeah, we want to follow the path. We want to make money. We're sick and tired of losing money. So over the weekend, I refinanced all my positions because I can do that because I've got a perfect credit score. You can't get better, right? And I've negotiated. Now, I'm not going to give the ins and the outs of that on this video because my trolls are watching. They'll want to circumvent certain security features that I have in place. So I don't want to give away all the ins and outs of that because, as I say, I get lots of security attacks and stuff like that on my channel, and I don't want to expose certain things anymore, even though I share everything because people try to find ways around these certain things when I reveal too much information, all right? So I'm not going to do that. But all I'm going to tell you is over the weekend, I was able to renegotiate my margin from 5.25 to 4% and get a cash advance, right, on my YouTube income. Okay, so what I was able to do was I was able to reduce my 5.25 with 4%. So I'm saving money straight off the bat. I've also got a cash injection. If I show you, look, my buying power was $1,000. You remember on Friday? Look at it now. $50,000 is my buying power. No issue whatsoever with being margin called. None whatsoever. The stock market will have to go down 50% from here, and we're already down 20%. That would be bigger than the Great Depression. So I ain't going to get margin called. So all the trolls watching this now, laughing, making videos on me for crying because I have sympathy for my audience. So shame on you. And how embarrassed are you now? I've mentioned that to everybody. But anyway, I'm not going to get margin called. I told you I wouldn't. I'm not going to. I never was, and so on and so forth, because I know how to work it. But I know the tools in the box and how I can improve things, and that's what I did. So I've managed to reduce my margin. I've managed to provide liquidity, and I've been able to get a cash injection. All three. It's a trifactor, right? Which is great. Now, this morning, after speaking to at 2:15 this morning, I think it was 2:15, I was speaking to some CEOs and hedge fund managers because, like me, they're up as well. They're up, they're working. They're not sitting down waiting for the open. Not at all. I'm on the phone. I'm finding out what people are actually doing. And everyone's going on CNBC and everyone's going on Meet Kevin. The market's going to go down 20%. We're all going to lose all our money in the morning. Oh my God, that Chinese guy, the Kazagi guy, always going to zero. What do they say? A clock is right twice a day. I am sick and tired of hearing stupid people that have made money from pyramid schemes tell you that the markets are either going to go up to $1 billion, we're going to get rich, or they're all going to go down to zero. None of those things are true whatsoever. The world will still turn. None of that stuff is true. And if you spend your time listening to that, more for you. I told you I wasn't going to pull any punches. Not interested. I'm telling you how it is. My Lucasades tell me every day. We support you, Martyn. We love the channel. We watch all day. Everyone's a member. 98% are members. We want to make money. Tell us how it is. Tell us what's going on. We're not interested in the fluff. So you get no fluff. All right. So 2 o'clock this morning, I'm talking to people, finding out what's going on. And I bought does it tell you the time? Does it tell you the time? Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. 1:51 in the morning. 10 to 2. Told you I was up late. 4:43. I bought 12 shares of the S&P. Now, why is that important? I bought 12 shares of the S&P. Now, that's basically that $5,300 2 days ago was $6,500. $6,500. Not 2 weeks. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Not 2 days ago. A couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, it was about $6,500. All right, quite a lot, right? So I went all in. I bought 12. Now then, I recalculated all my margin positions and my $1 million target, and now my margin is being covered by my dividends. The dividends, which aren't real dividends, they're just a freebie, really. You don't buy the S&P for dividends, right? You buy the S&P for growth. However, if you can have money coming in that will cover your interest, well, that's not bad, right? And interest is going to go down very, very quickly on Robinhood as well. It's going to go down to 4 anyway, so I'm going to actually have to renegotiate again. But the point is, it's going to come down for everybody, right? Which is great, fantastic. So I went all in. Now then, where do we go from here? I've now got enough to get to $1 million before the end of the decade, if not 1 year early. You've got to know who you are, you've got to know your goal, and you've got to know when to stop. I'm done. I don't need to buy any more shares to achieve my goal. It was a long plan. This was not a 5-minute plan. All the steps of building my business, building my credit, building my knowledge, making friends, making connections, learning from people, assembling all of the tools in the toolbox and then acting when it was the right time to act. That was the moment to renegotiate. That was the time to do it. That was when there was most pressure on the market. I was able to negotiate my terms that I wanted. I was also able to get the S&P for the price I wanted. Now, you remember, I've been buying on the macro dip to the S&P, but even so, the S&P has been going up for 14 months since I've been doing that. So even though I bought on dips, I'd never bought it for the original price. Obviously, you can't buy the S&P for what it was 10 years ago, right? Nobody can. Not rocket science there, is it? So my average has been going up, and that's the only thing. Time a margin, an average can go up if you're buying an appreciating asset. If you're buying something that's volatile and something that's speculative, like a crypto asset, for example, you don't want to be raising your average because it's got no fundamental value. You're just making it more likely at some point in the future you're going to lose money, because at some point in the future everyone's going to dump their Bitcoin. Of course they are. They'll tell you they're not, but we know they are. All right, because people that buy a lot of it tell me, right? So forget what Michael Saylor says. What Michael Saylor does is different, right? We see now today how much money they're losing. Anyway, that's beside the point. You can buy on the way up on an appreciative asset, not a depreciating asset. Okay. Well, my average has been going up, and you may remember over the last few weeks, my S&P VU got as high, I think it was 510. 510 was my average. It got as high as 510 because I was buying at 520, 540, 560 because we're appreciating asset, right? And then all this collapsed. This morning, and this is the power, some would say dollar cost averaging because it simplifies things, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say disciplined investing. Nothing to do with dollar cost averaging. That just makes it like a headline comic book and people go, oh, I get that. No, it's disciplined investing. With just 12 shares, at the right price, as they were this morning. And it doesn't matter a toffee to me whether it goes down 10% on the open bell. I couldn't care less. If it goes down 10% on the opening bell, I'll buy more. I couldn't care less. The same structure's the same. I don't buy the price, I buy the value. And when I was any time the S&P is under 20 times earnings, 19.7, it's probably like 15 times now. I've not had a chance to work it out yet. But it's undervalued. I don't care what Trump says, what he doesn't say, who does this, who does that. I don't buy the flag. I don't buy America. I don't buy Donald Trump. I buy Apple, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Microsoft, Google. That's what I buy. That's what I own. So when it went below this morning, just 12 shares was all it took to bring my average for way above 500 to under 500. That changes everything for my margin and the way it's calculated and my risk factor and so on. Look at this. This is my VU. You remember what it was? And now my average cost is $498. And I've now got $250,000 in the S&P. Now remember, I started with $5,000, no options, no contracts, no crypto, no shorts, just buying value, undervalue, and all the time doing it with discipline and structure, making sure that I am always aware of the business element of it as well, the tax side of things, restructuring, renegotiating, and all the rest of it. Look at that, 498. Phenomenal, right? When you think the majority of it was bought at 540. Amazing, right? Okay, well, that's good. Now, what does that mean to my margin then? Because the way margin is structured, retail investors always get it wrong. I've talked to so many people and they get it wrong all the time. They don't buy on the way down. They buy on the way up. They don't understand what they bought in the first place. They see it going down and go, I'll wait for it to go lower. I'm going to look at the Fibonacci. I'm going to look at this zone. If you're an investor, if you're a trader, that's very important. But if you're an investor and you want to own the business, you know what it's worth. If it was worth it, if it was the right price here, when it's here, why aren't you buying it? Well, I've run out of money. I've run out of margin. I don't know what to do. Well, why did you do that? You always manage it. You know how it's going to go, but you know your value. So on the way down, people don't buy. They say they're going to buy, but they don't. They wait and they do this and that, and they listen to somebody on YouTube. They don't. They buy on the way up with FOMO. How do I know that? Because it's going up now for some stupid reason. After I bought it, everyone's getting excited. They're buying it. Why didn't you buy it when it's 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. Never understood it. Anyway, the point is this. If you use margin, there's nothing wrong with margin, but if you use margin and when it's going down, you don't buy, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Oh no, you're not. I'm paying off less margin. I'm being careful. I've got to be careful. No, if you bought it here on margin, you must buy it here on margin. Well, no, you're encouraging me to get into debt. No, I'm not. I'm not encouraging you to get in debt at all. I'm not telling you what to do. Just telling you how it works. You do what you want. The point is you'll buy it up here again. You won't buy it down here. But the point is this. You focus on paying off the margin when it goes up. Because you're making profit now, you can reduce the margin. If you buy on the way down, and here's the magic little secret sauce with margin. When you've got margin, there's an element of risk. Your collateral is your stocks. So when you buy more on the way down, you protect what's above. You build a foundation. Remember, I've always said it's always been and always has been and always will be about foundations. What is hard to do is the best thing. What's easy ain't worth zip. What's hard is the best thing to do. Build the foundation, forget the tinsel, forget the roof will come later. Build the floor, make it out of solid granite, deeper and deeper and deeper into the ground. Really deep, as deep as you can go. So when it comes down, you can buy down here, you're protecting what's up here. That's how it works. And by doing that, your margin maintenance line jumps like crazy because you've strengthened it. And you've strengthened it because it shows conviction. You know what you own. And the system rewards you for that because the system understands it as well. So you protect yourself. So what I've ended up with, you remember, I was down to 27%? Was it 27% buffer zone? Was it 27% buffer on Friday? Margin, I think it was. Go back and look at my videos. Look at that. Hang on. View details. Look at my buffer now. 46. It's got nothing to do with the cash. It's mainly to do with the stocks. Now, I can't show that and prove that to you, but take my word for it. It's to do with the stock, not the cash. The cash is a big part of it, but it's mainly to do with the stock. And I'll tell you how I know that. Because this morning, when I refinanced, it literally came through at 5 o'clock this morning. I'm going to tell you like a little story here. I can't give too much information away because people will circumvent my security and so on and so forth. So I don't want to say too much. But the point is this. At 157, was it 155? I bought 12 shares of the S&P without the finance being in place. I was taking a leap of faith that it would be there by Tuesday because it takes 2 days for Robinhood to do what they have to do. And if it wasn't there by Tuesday, I would have my first payment rejected because there'd be no money where it came from. Make sense? That's all I'm going to say. So, but it came through at 5 o'clock this morning. All right, 5 o'clock this morning. So, which was very, very nice. So basically, I bought the stock this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning without the money being there. With a leap of faith, it needs to be there by Tuesday because it will take 2 days for it to settle, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. As it happened, it was 5 o'clock. So what it enabled me to do is when I bought the stock, when I bought the 12 shares, I actually saw what my margin did. My margin jumped. My margin jumped from 27 to about 38. Not 46, but 38. Because what I just explained to you, I protected my portfolio by adding more at a much lower price. My margin risk went down because my collateral was cheaper. What I own is in a better state of housekeeping. It's in a much stronger position. The market can go down 50% now, or 46 actually, and I'll still be all right. Okay, so when I added the cash to it, it went up a bit more to 46. But the biggest part of it was the management of investing. And it's important I explain that so you can understand how this all works. So, to cut a long story short, I hope you've now got through to the end of the video, because I'm going to put this out as its own video later on for people that want the full strategy of being an investor, a long-term investor, never lose, always win, go through everything, know who you are, take it all on the chin, let everyone attack you, and then draw from it, draw energy from it. It was hilarious this morning. Some little ant came onto my X account and he even said I'm a troll. Oh, you're talking rubbish, you're doing this and that and the other. And I replied to him, I said, you're going to love my next post then. And I posted about what I've just said to you now. And I said, by the way, you can read it, but I'm gonna ban you now, because I don't want to spend 3 seconds ever thinking about you again. You are a complete and utter waste of my time. So go away and bother somebody else. So I banned him, but I do happen to know he saw the post by his reaction somewhere else. So that's quite funny. Anyway, so you've got to draw strength from people that knock you down. If people are telling you it's wrong to invest, do what you know is right, not what people tell you. Equally, don't convince yourself what you're doing is right either. You know it's right when you surround yourself by successful people. Nobody worth nothing gives me any advice that's any value to me whatsoever. The people that influence me or make me realize the strength of the economy and should I buy the S&P or should I invest in that are people that are millionaires and billionaires that have done it. Their advice, their information is of some value. The bloke down the pub telling me, actually, you should sell the S&P because you only make 10% a year. You're a bloody idiot. You should go and buy Binky Bonk coin. He is of a he's completely useless. In fact, I used to find it funny and entertaining. Now it's just a complete and utter waste of my time, because my time is valuable. Every day now I value my time, and you should do the same. How much money can you make in this time? What can you do in this time? And if someone is taking your time by telling you you're doing something wrong or hassling you or annoying you or putting you down, they're taking away from your valuable time. And do you know why they're doing it to you? Because their time has no value. If it did, they wouldn't be doing it. I've never met a billionaire or a millionaire who's successful, who's down the pub trolling anybody, telling them what to do. If someone is telling you not to do something, trolling you, giving you a hard time, it's because their time is worth zero. So you shouldn't be giving them any time whatsoever. There we go. There's my video. We're about to take on Black Monday, and we're going to take it on and win. I don't care if it goes down, up, sideways. The target was to build the most honest channel in the world on YouTube. We've done it. We'll soon be 100,000 subscribers, on the way to 1 million. If we get to 1 million, it doesn't matter. Got enough. I'm happy where we are today. It'd be great, but it doesn't change anything. My next strategy was to get to $1 million. It's done. It's $1 million in waiting. I haven't got to do anything. And I told you my all-time high is around the corner, 160,000. We're at 140,293. And despite the fact we're down 20%, I think you'll agree, isn't actually that bad. So bring it on. Bring on Black Friday. Let everybody tell me it's all going to go to zero. Let everyone tell you should sell what you believe in and buy something that they believe in just because it makes them feel better about their sad existence. And do what you know is right. Not because you've told yourself it's right, because you've read and studied it and you've done the basics. You've gone to school, you've spoken to the right people, you know what you know. And that is it. There's my message today as we take on Black Monday. I hope this video was of some help to you. I hope it encourages you through anything in life, but you can achieve anything as long as you focus on yourself, focus on education, and focus on learning rather than listening to noise. Listening to noise from people that have time to dispense it. And they have time to dispense it because their lives are worth zero. Why would you waste your time listening to it? Click above my head for all the links, down below in the description. Over here and over here, I shall put 2 more videos I think you'll find useful. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.